All right, everybody. My name is Tim Smith. This is the Chef Infra Triage for February 24th. We're going to look at some issues, some PRs, maybe some PRs, probably some PRs. So I will share my screen and we can get going. I'm also entirely asleep right now, so I apologize in advance. Let's see.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move this later.
Yeah, we need a later time. This is not the best time. All right. Now you can see all our private repos. That's great. I figure we start in Chef and look at some PRs. Do we want to look at your unified mode PR, Lamont?
No.
No.
Did it go green?
Is it gonna go green?
Should be green.
I mean, rel 8's not green because it's broken.
Well, green is relative, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's normal failures.
Why are the functional specs for Windows failing?
I don't. There's like they're failing with a different reason now. I'm like, I fix that.
Why are the CentOS 8 ones failing?
Yeah. DNF.
DNF
Something happened.
something.
Yeah, because I had a question on one of your DNF issues at some point on this call.
Yeah, there's like a DNF issue with like loading the updates channel or something. It's not getting parsed right.
Loading the update.
And it used to just be CentOS 8, and then it started showing up in Fedora too. Which is weird because I would have expected it to happen in Fedora first, but yeah, those are real failures. We need to fix that. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we have that PR, even if it's not ready to merge. Even if we have double copyrights left and right. Because
nobody cares about.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I was very excited though on that PR to see this whole mess where we're not doing like crazy town to do crazy things anymore.
Oh, well, it's still there. It's just that I moved it around. I moved it to the top because it makes more sense.
Yeah, this is like much more readable now.
Yeah.
A few of these things were much more readable. I mean, that's just like Rubocop in this, but that was also nice. Not having to declare resources was pretty cool.
Yeah, I cleaned up some declare resource stuff.
I was excited for that. No, this is the one I was thinking of. Is this one? It was the pseudo resource.
Yeah, that crazy.
Where
stuff.
like, this is exactly why unified mode is dope.
That's not even unified mode though.
I thought this was the one where we were racing against compile converge again.
Oh yeah, so there is the run action that I took out. Yes, so the run action right there, that goes away with unified mode.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but the rest of it, I don't know. It's all messed up. I think it fixed legitimate bugs there where somebody had not fully done everything to compile time.
I had to do some magic to make that one work at one point. It was not working right.
I don't think it's correct right now, or before I just merged the PR. So,
oh, you merged it? All right, that's cool.
So that one's shipped. Yay.
Sweet.
I got more work done on Friday than I thought.
Yeah, that's the more of those we can convert, the easier they are to maintain. Because now you can like actually read that and it makes sense. Anytime there's declare resources in there and like forcing compile onto resources, I can't read them. They're terrible.
Is this all we had to do for client to server exception?
Yeah, so we had a thing in we have some backwards compatibility in that one. Yeah, this backwards compatibility.
Isn't it client exception that's the deprecated one?
No, I believe it's server, and I think the reasoning was they said it's not actually a server exception, it's an exception in the client. I found the original Ruby issue for it where they were just like, it's a really annoying one because it's just kind of like, you probably shouldn't have fixed it.
Oh, I see. So this came in from Chef Alt Secret, so that's external. So then, okay, so we were redefining this on the old version. to add client exception.
Yes.
Okay.
So we could convert everything to client and avoid all the exceptions,
So
which is a cool way to do it. I like that.
Yeah, so I did it the right way so that mostly it doesn't have to change, but then a couple of things snuck in.
Yeah, this was the stuff that I merged in. So, and I don't know, that's a spec. Who cares? But yeah, we have this, unfortunately, all over all of our external libraries, like all over all the nice stuff. There's a bunch of things that need to get cleaned up. They just merged in the fix for the chef server side of this. But yep. Thanks, Ruby. Yeah.
Create releases when we promote to stable. That's a weird.
This does not work, but the idea, I just kind of wanted to get it out there before I banged on it even more.
Whip, right?
This is a total whip, yeah. But the idea here, there's a few things. I was mostly, it started out as I was looking at how Habitat promotes the chocolatey, because I wanted to get all that chocolatey stuff into a pipeline and like not have to do that by hand. I'm tired of like manual promotion stuff post-release, because I still haven't done it for like the latest versions of Workstation stuff. So they had a few things. They had all their scripts in a scripts directory, and I was like, yeah, I like that. So I put all of ours in a scripts directory. But then they also were creating GitHub releases for their releases. They did it in a really weird way that I thought was massively overly complex, so I didn't actually copy that. But they were doing it with like a full build kite pipeline, which I don't think is necessary and makes it much harder because you don't get all the expediter variables. But basically, it's pretty easy. I found this submark Go package, and this is because I'm not very good at sed and awk, and it was pretty dope. Like basically, you just tell it like, I'm looking for this header, and it will like it'll select all your markdown from that header to the next H1 header. So you can give like H1, H2, or H3. It allows you to like snap snippets out really easily. Seemed like a really easy way to do this in the pipeline. But that gives us like an actual release that has the release notes in it, which Habitat does not have. So we would have like, somebody would have the ability to just go through the GitHub releases and see what we did for each version and what changed, which would be nice.
The next one looks fine to me.
What's the next one? The Bootstrap one?
Yeah.
All right, let's give that a better title.
Except things look busted on it.
Oh, did it break all of our? What do we got?
Linux broke. That does not look correct. Let's see.
Are these related? That's 6.
What?
FFI lib archive. This is
Chef Jim Chef FFI lib.
This is unrelated.
Yeah, that has nothing to do.
This probably just needs to get rebased. That was I know why that is. That's because he's working off of a branch that has like the FFI changes in it. This is an old. Needs a rebase. Yeah, because that doesn't change any of that.
I'll ping him about that and have him rebase.
Well, I don't think it's even a problem because that's unrelated. The Bootstrap stuff is not exercised anywhere in those kitchen tests, so they don't really actually matter.
Is it not? That should have kicked off tests again.
I don't think you get tests again when you just reopen a PR.
You used to.
I don't think Build Guide does that.
That was the way that GitHub used to work. GitHub doesn't work that way anymore. That's really annoying. Seriously? That used to work.
There we go. I assume we will want to backport this.
Sure.
I think that would be nice.
That's kind of what I assume. Yeah. Assume that's the whole point. You don't want to wait till April?
Yeah. How does backporting work generally on this? Do we create a PR for that, or do you guys
Oh,
just?
we got a whole doc for that.
Oh, you do?
You
Yeah.
could. Yeah. There's
How to somewhere in here.
Branching and backporting?
Yeah, there we go. Look.
Oh, hey,
Backport fixes.
there we go. That's kind of what I figured it was. Okay.
There's some docs. Yeah, it's that simple. It's literally just cherry pick that thing over. Ideally, cherry pick it so that we have some ability to compare JAWS and all that stuff.
merging knife windows.
Yeah, don't look at that. That's terrible.
It needs to get done, but yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of
it does need to get done. There's a bigger question on that. Maybe it is worth having it right now. So I started down this route. Totally put the cart before the horse on it. I didn't really look at knife windows, and then when I looked at knife windows, I got a little terrified.
Yes.
Yes. So knife windows. The problem we get here is this brings in these two new depths, and so WinRM I know we don't need in a train world. Train already depths on that. WinRM elevated is like the ideal way of doing it, and that is really weird. But it's WinRM commands over a scheduled task that we set. And that gets around all the privilege escalation things that you can't have with WinRM. So like if you want to do anything, basically anything on a Windows system, you're actually like executing WinRM over a scheduled task to like fake the PowerShell you want to run. I don't think we have any way to do that in Train, but a lot of this stuff, there's like two flavors of knife plugins. There's things like the cert generate one, which are literally just like some really basic shell outs and some generation of things with OpenSSL. They don't bring in any depths, and that's fine. That's great. And then there's like cert install, listener creates. Then there's like the actual, I want to run commands with WinRM. And these are all using WinRM directly right now, but I wonder like, that is the same pattern we have with SSH, but do we want to convert these to train? Or do we do that later?
My gut is that we just need to pull this in, because if we try and do the perfect thing, it's not going to happen.
Okay. That's fair.
So
so we'll take a dep hit right now. It's not really even a dep hit because realistically train already depends on that. We already depend on train, so
right.
I don't think we're actually adding any deps really. Other than that weird escalated one, I don't think we can even get around that. And then maybe our new buddy Ryan can use his train experience to trainify some things. Yeah, I would love if the SSH stuff and the WinRM stuff just used train. So everything we did was just over train. Then we would at least have the same bugs everywhere. Yeah, so I'll rebase that and work on that. It also changed a little bit because I changed knife windows, made it more performant. The Celeste one was on hold. So next one is 9280. This one got updated today. I left some feedback on it. This is something we really want to get in for all of everything. People want this really bad. But the problem was it was a resource we pulled out of, I think the Windows Cookbook had this, if I remember right, and it used DSC. And we don't want to bring stuff in that uses DSC if we can avoid it. And there's no way to do this in PowerShell. Like this is one of those weird things on Windows that you just can't do in PowerShell. And I thought like when MSys said that, I was like, no, they must be missing something. I went and looked at it, and it's like the way everyone tells you to do it in PowerShell is exactly what we're doing right here, which is go create a security policy file on disk and use PowerShell to run secedit to load it, which is terrible. I don't know if we can get around that other than using DSC. but also the way we're doing this here needs some work, because this like creates a seat chef temp directory that we just definitely should not be doing. And it doesn't use like the full path to the command. So like if the path is all screwed up on Windows, which it always is, we're not even gonna be able to find that command.
Chef, what?
I was like, we can just use our temp directory. We have one.
Yeah, that needs to be something else.
Also, this needs to not be here. That's the default now. There's a cook style rule for that. Yeah. I should run that cook style rule against chef. I bet we're using that all over the place. All right. So that's that one. That'll get updated. That PR, this is going to be one of those PRs that takes 2 months. This is the other half of that same sort of thing.
Is it ready to go though?
I haven't looked at this one yet. This is a new feature. Let's see. What do we got here? They added some of it. It didn't have the documentation or anything before.
These and array, privilege ops, and
What is?
size. Our privilege ops include a what? Privilege to set for users. What is that?
What are they trying to do there?
I don't know.
Oh, they're trying to make sure that if you use the ops, no, it's not even a value. Where's the ops come from?
Right.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Right, those are privilege ops. So
They're trying to make sure that the ops, that the privilege that you passed in is one of the valid ones. So they union that and then compare the size again.
if you're passing, so it does an array or a string, I see. Include v. So then they're doing. Oh, I see. So then they're doing. The
Yeah.
must equal the size, so none of it gets pruned out by the intersection.
Whoa.
You could include it twice though. I don't know. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah.
I'll just blow up.
What would that look like if that failed? This is like the problem with those callbacks is they usually have like terrible failure conditions.
Right. Well, it's going to say option privilege must include any of the and then the entire list.
Oh, okay. So you do get the message. All right. That's.
Yeah, but it's not telling you. It's not telling you which option was bad. It's telling you go use one of the good ones. If you have a good one, that's going to fail.
I mean, that's like.
Yeah.
Mid-level. Okay. Sort of.
It's sort of better than nothing, but.
Yeah. Are we sensitive to true? Why do we sensitive to true?
Why is load current value not really doing anything useful?
Why do we need a sensitive to true? What is sensitive in here?
What does mean marked sensitive?
The whole resource.
I have no idea.
I don't think there's anything actually sensitive in this.
Okay. What is where is the current resource being loaded?
Get account.
There's oh, there it goes. It calls privilege. Okay.
Yeah, I mean I think that makes sense.
Oh, okay, I was reading something wrong. I thought it was raising there.
Yeah, so they're going to load the current resource unless the action is set.
Get account right, new resource principal unless include set. Okay, so principal. So that actually does the right thing now that I can read it.
Yeah.
Well, we need to have this meeting later.
I'm glad that we didn't look it up for set because that would be a giant waste of time.
Okay, so then new resource privilege, coercive to an array minus current resource privilege, coercive to an array, takes the set intersection. User privilege is right. Each do does each of those convert as by at account rights, and so that is effectively a guard coming across all of those that will act correctly.
Yeah, it should work. Is there a remove action in here? Yeah, there we go.
That's fine. Users that. New resource users each do user. If user new resource privilege user privilege for each new privilege. Users now users empty raises. Once the users compare the privilege of the users. So then it's got a check around that. It runs through each account. It converts by to add remove account right. Remove account right. And then it adds it. Okay, whatever. Cool. And then remove does that. New res privilege equals that. Shifted new res privilege if new resource privilege is a string. That's mildly awkward.
So why do we remove them all first? Like, what is going on in line 125?
Isn't that asserting that it has to have all the correct members? So it removes the ones that aren't supposed to be there and it adds the ones that need to be there.
Okay. Accounts at each. Users, yeah. We need to get some sort of Windows test kitchen run that happens, because this is the kind of stuff that like needs to execute in a Windows.
Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like, does this work? I don't know. Like, looks like Ruby.
Missing res privilege is empty. Unless missing res privilege is empty. Info not present, unable to delete it. Should that be like, should it throw? What is going on there? Missing rev privileges, removing privilege not present, unable to delete.
How would you even get that?
I have no idea. It's Windows.
Yeah, that should error. That's not an info. It's like, hey, you told me to do this thing, I didn't do it.
Yeah. Okay, the rest of it looks right though, as far as I can tell. Modulo knowing nothing about Windows.
Yeah, that's how I feel about a lot of stuff. Where I'm like, This is not a part of Windows I ever touched.
Next one hasn't been updated.
Oh, we have a whole new FFI stuff in there. I'll just pretend I didn't see any of that. What's the next one? Timbermans.
Yeah, it hasn't been touched.
All right. This PFX properties one, like, I need to respond to that. I didn't respond to it.
Yeah, I have no idea. So
Yeah, I got to respond to it because it's not like, it's just not a very good user experience the way they want to do it.
yeah,
What they want to do is fine, but
Yeah, so the one after that hasn't been updated. The Catalina software one.
all right. Waiting on contributor, waiting on contributor. Oh, waiting on contributor mine too.
Still waiting on DCO, of course. Love DCO. So nothing to be done about Catalina one. So empty run list. I need to look through this one. Oh, we got rebased against Metro. At least it's failing in the usual things. So maybe this one's ready to go. This Mashify is the first boot after boot thing. Yeah.
The 9156.
Yeah.
All right.
So sure, why not?
We'll see. Those ones are always like the. We'll find out how many edge conditions we're not thinking about.
Socket response reading fixes on some snap packages.
Did this get updated?
Yeah, got updated. I'm gonna have to read this offline now. It always makes
Yeah, that's a long one. All right. Just Windows PowerShell wrapper.
Yeah, that one.
This is the one that I was a little confused about what we were trying to achieve with this.
Yep. So
See, Mark is here right now.
Yeah.
Want to say something?
Mark, what's the goal on this? Because this is like a lot of stuff.
yeah, I looked at this and I was like, I have no idea what's going on here.
Mark? All right, well, let us know if you want to talk about that. We're around.
That sounds breaking change going into Chef 16. So
Which one are we talking about? Oh, the Chef FS one?
yeah. Time to ship it then. And correctly marked breaking change. Let you show up with your breaking changes.
Cool. What did that change in the output exactly?
I don't remember.
This is the one that was just like we're missing empty. Yeah, we're missing all the empties.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I'll make it a little bit easier for anybody who doesn't have to guard around missing stuff.
I fear that will blow shit up, but whatever.
We'll find out.
Hab plan, Rob Kid. This has been blocked forever.
Yeah, we should actually ask Rob if he's going to finish that.
I'm kind of.
Are you going to finish your client solo?
Yeah, that has to get finished eventually, one way or
Yeah.
another.
It needs a pretty heavy rebase at this point.
Yep, I'm sure it does.
Data
bags. Do you want to just close that because it sounds like we can't do it?
Yeah, I will confirm that today, but I suspect that I'm just going to close that.
All right. So
I need to actually try it, but I'm fairly positive that that's not going to work.
we're kind of getting well into stuff that has.
Yeah, I think that there's no point in going over any of the stuff past here. I'm going to flip over to the issues side of things so we can throw some stuff on here. Cool. Looks like some stuff is already triaged. MSU package, that's perfect for sustaining. Knife upload, bad error messages. When a message. What is that through?
Bad error message and recipe has a syntax error.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably actually put the error in there.
Right. Yeah, so it's just fixing the message.
Yeah, I bet there's like I bet we are putting something in there, but it's a variable that's like the wrong thing.
Probably, yeah.
I would suspect if we look at that, like there's a variable after that colon. Cool.
Hide by mins not working properly. Yeah, I have no idea. So
I thought we changed this.
yeah,
that is a good one for sustaining though, especially if we need a replication case on it. Oh man, subversion.
Is hide by mins, is that supposed to be? Oh, I see, but 40 and 80, so it's not doing anything.
Okay. Yeah. There was a legacy option there, and then I can't remember if hide by mins is the legacy one or if that's the one we added, but we changed that behavior in like the last year or two.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we didn't change it right. That code is like actually pretty recent. All right, sustaining backlog, chef vault cookbook. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I have a lot of stuff to do today. Yeah.
Initial checkout of subversion and now explicit resource given. I think I looked through this, right? Sort of. Oh.
I'm always amazed when people have subversion issues still. Or I'm like,
he's monkey patching it. Like, why do you like go submit that as a PR, please?
Where are we talking about here?
If you look in there.
Oh, is this in the?
Yeah, they're working around it in a different repo, monkey patching that.
Oh.
It's like, if you just fix it, then.
Yeah, there's probably reasons. These guys are really smart. This is OpenStreetMap. That's fun to use.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Chef vault in the chef repo.
Unfortunately, they do have a pile of legacy stuff floating around that infrastructure, but. All right, chef vaults me, move the non-bootstrap commands. I'm gonna assign myself to that and triage it.
Also knife, right?
What?
There's a knife plugin, right?
Yeah, it's a knife. MISC and we'll take untriage off. I wish you could make like an untriage label or something where like if you put any labels on it, it would go away. Or if like GitHub just had the concept of untriaged. Yeah, we need to figure this user one out. Okay, well, first system. Hey, backlog, that sounds like a bug to me. Bug. You're gonna do all the YAML stuff, right?
I merged it.
Oh, so that's done. Can I close this?
Just did.
Cool. Perfect. Slightly terrified, but
yep.
Whatever.
User resource and OSX throwing define method.
Yeah, I threw a tag on that one. Yeah, the Highline gem, like we can do that whenever. We should do it, but it's pretty low.
I really hate those as issues because we're never going to do it as an issue. And like sometime 3 years from now, we're going to realize that it got done and then we'll close it. So it's just wasting our time. Like, it's not going to get worked as an issue. At some point, we're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's just that issue itself is going to get lost.
I mean, isn't that kind of the case with most issues though? Like,
well, I mean, at least like if you're tracking bugs, then like if I'm working on the DNF provider or something, I can, or DNF package, I can search on DNF package, right?
Yeah, I would switch to Highline. I mean, I would search for Highline if I was going to remove it. Like, this is something I looked at. There might even be. Oh, there is only one. It's like there might be an existing issue for that. Yeah, this is like, I mean, honestly, this is one I would just tag again as sustaining.
All right.
I think it's mostly just like going through that code. The unfortunate thing we did, like I looked at this previously, and I converted some of the stuff to use some of the TTY libraries before, but we made an interface in Knife that is like very tightly coupled with Highline. Like that the calls you're making are to the Highline method when they should have been to like the presenter method or something, something like that. So we have to do some backwards compatibility there to not break everybody's Knife plugins. It's not as simple as just like going in that method and changing the calls. Like there's a little bit that has to happen, but it's not rocket science. And it would be nice to drop that depth because Highline is super unmaintained. I don't think we're even using the current one. We're using the old one. And then we could just get on TTY, which is super maintained. It would be nice.
So the next one is fairly terrible.
Where are we? Client D file overrides command line arguments. Sweet.
Yeah, client D, but not client RB.
So
I don't know how that happened, but that one's annoying.
That's a bug. That should get fixed.
Yeah. I wonder if that's sustaining or not.
Yeah, I mean that's at
I kind of fear
medium. I'm not sure if medium is even the right. That's a fairly big deal.
Yeah, I mean, with medium or high, high is often usually like critical shit.
Yeah, because like that just means that if you're using client D, like the command line doesn't work.
Right.
That sucks. All right.
I'll put it both in critical and medium because it's like,
yeah, somewhere in between.
Does that generate 5 levels that we can use?
Medium high on your stove.
Medium high, yeah.
All right. Add the ability for Windows certificate resource. This is an enhancement. No. That's an enhancement. Yeah. That's a Windows issue. That's a sustaining issue because they wrote that gem.
Okay.
That has come up from multiple people. It's a super common thing over and over again. The way we're importing the certs into the cert store is wrong.
Okay.
And by wrong, I mean it's not the way most people would want it. So we need an option, and it should probably be the default, really. That's like exportable.
Oh, is that the one we got pinged about on the channel last
week? We got pinged. So Jason and Sous Chefs was pinging me the other day where he's like, hey, how come I can't export these?
But it's like, yeah, well, I'll give it to our Windows team.
Yeah.
Chef Gem does not work as expected on Mac OS 10.15. Following. Create a launch D with the following. What? Okay. Yeah, so you're trying to gem install. Huh? So
Why?
That's because gem install expects. So gem install expects to be able to create a .gem directory for state.
I'm still really confused on what he is trying to do here exactly. Like, why are you creating a launch daemon to chef apply things?
I have no idea.
I don't think that that is particularly related to the issue, but it's a little terrifying.
No.
I'm sure there's reasons, but kind of terrifying.
What is the... root, var root has a home directory. Oh. Yeah, it's all there. Okay.
Deep thought, Lamont? You in deep thought over that PR?
I'm typing.
That was loud. All right, I'm gonna continue to look at some other issues here. All right. The Red Hat one is a bug. I'm not really sure how we can possibly get around this, but
Which one are you on? RHM register.
9295. Like this came up in community, and I actually asked them to.
Yeah. Like we're not.
It does put a lot of load on the satellite server. The satellite server appears to have some scaling issues. I'm not sure how else we can check to see if you're in fact registered, though, other than asking the satellite server. The node, I mean, the node knows, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't removed on the satellite server.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I would love to know a solution to this, but I'm not sure if there is one.
Yeah. So if you're not sure there is a solution, like.
Well, there might be, but.
Yeah, but like, we're not going to get a satellite server set up to actually test this anytime soon.
You can actually test it on, well, I mean, you can't test the satellite server part of it, but like you can test a node pretty easily with the cloud satellite server subscription stuff.
Right.
Which is how I did this in the past. You can like register it out to their cloud and then run all the status commands on your local system.
So test and promote Habitat builds on Linux. This is sure.
Is this related to Rob? No, it's not related to Rob stuff.
Yeah, I have no idea. Is it related to stuff you were looking at? I have no idea.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. At some point, we probably need like a legit Habitat person to be like, what do we have to fix to make this work? And that has to be on probably on like Jon Snow and co. To be like, what does your team want to feel confident with the Habitat packages that we produce? Because I don't know what they want.
Why did I remove sustaining backlog? I think I meant to remove on triage. That's what happened. Yeah, the next one I don't know what to do other than just label it and move on.
Can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So whenever you have a minute, we can talk about that or PR.
Yeah, we can go back to that one. Where what was that called? Dist? Oh.
I prefix all of them with dist.
Yeah, I think I renamed it.
It's PowerShell. 9065.
9065 was the issue?
Yeah.
65. Yeah, there we go. All right. I don't know why that search was not working. Oh, probably because I had in case sensitive. All right. So what are we trying to achieve with this was the question.
So if you scroll down to the bottom of files change, it's basically about one line in the entire thing, but I couldn't think of a better way than templating the entire file so we could inject the distro constant that you see at the very bottom of it. This is the original file, but templated.
Where's the file? Shouldn't it be deleted?
I believe it is. Possible I missed it.
Yeah, I don't see the file itself actually being deleted. I think that was the biggest question that we had, was there was a whole bunch of read for this file. And it was like, where's the red for where it's coming from?
It is possible that is due to a git ignore mishap. actually, because now the original file has been git ignored so that when it's generated by rake, it doesn't get committed to source. So that's likely what's happening here. Could be an easy fix if I'm correct.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, I see. Yeah, because you're file join, you're getting chef PSM1, you're writing it. Yeah, so then you wanted to git ignore that, so it wouldn't get, okay. That's coming out of the rake file. Okay. Yeah, it looks fine, except somehow you should nuke that before you commit the git ignore or something like that, I think.
Okay, I'll do some git reset magic and get that working.
Where do we actually call this from?
This was some time ago, but as I recall, I set it up as part of the install rake job.
Oh, is it just sit? I should probably actually just view the real file here.
Yeah, also, I realize now that I'm using the...
yeah, there we go. All right.
I'm not using the same eRubies as you are. I should probably change that too.
All right, that makes more sense if it's in super install. Because that was one of the things before I was like, where's this even going to get called from? All right, so part of our install task will just actually go through and template this out with the right constants in there.
Right, but question, do we want to switch? I'm using plain ERB, but I noticed since then that you guys use eRubies pretty much everywhere. You want me to change that?
I think the reason that we don't use the plain one was performance, if I remember right. Also like historic reasons. I mean, Chef goes back to 1.8, so.
I mean, it doesn't matter here.
Yeah, this should be fine.
This is not exposed to the user, so it just, I don't care.
Like I'm using, if you go to those same rake tasks and you go and look at like how we do the docs, this is all here as well. Like, it's not the app, it's just tasks that we have. So using the built-in stuff in Ruby, fine by me.
Sounds good. Then I'll just fix up the little git ignore mishap and resubmit.
Okay, cool.
Does this rake file get executed during the install phase or during you just when you update it?
It's the super install task.
Like prepping things for build or something.
Yeah, that's the one that does like, that installs the chef gem and the chef utils and the chef config.
Okay, cool. Okay, I was just trying to understand from our perspective if it's going to actually get used on our side through the Omnibus build.
I assume that that's what we're using everywhere in Omnibus.
Currently, Lance, we actually patch that directly. This will just make it so we don't have to patch it. Another distro won't have to patch it.
Ah, okay, cool.
All right.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm kind of done at this point.
I did have one that I wanted you to take a look at least.
Sure.
I didn't quite get to. It is 9201.
All right.
Issue or PR?
9201.
Oh, yeah, package guard.
I can confirm this happens, and I tried debugging it myself, and I cannot figure out why this keeps happening, but I can confirm it actually happens.
Right, so by putting the version number in the package name, okay, yeah. So that is the better solution for the yum package and DNF package. You're encouraged to not use version or arch inside of the resource because it calls different APIs because it doesn't really, it has to send those through filters and it uses completely different APIs and you're going to get different behavior. So there's edge conditions where this is absolutely what you should do. So what's going on though with exactly why it's failing? Reinstalled 7311.
It's the architecture is getting put on there for the comparison, right?
Yeah, I think that's what I noticed happening, and I couldn't figure out where it was getting tacked on. I'm not setting that in the resource anywhere, as far as I know.
No, that's what's coming back from. So it's comparing.
Yeah, this is from DNF itself.
Yeah, so
That's your value.
That's what it's reading off of the installed package, the version compare, with the proper Nevra there, or not Nevra, but Evra.
I mean, if we're doing version comparisons, shouldn't we be stripping the architecture off that? Because those are never going to compare.
No, because they can. Because if you want to install the 64-bit and the 32-bit library,
would you put that in the version, or would that be in the package name?
So if you have the 64-bit version installed, kind of like this,
yeah,
and you call it with the full Evra with the 32-bit versions, those must fail to compare. So you cannot just strip something. You can strip it if, like this, one of them is already stripped and doesn't care. So it's only if they don't show up on both sides that you can strip it. What's that?
When you say this, what is this? Oh, like this PR, like this issue.
This issue, yeah.
Okay. I was like, what's the this in this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what.
So this is probably fixed in the Yum side. So this is probably a duplicate, essentially, of
yeah, I know this doesn't happen on 7, as far as I know.
So it's probably a duplicate of 9013, more or less.
And that's just that we need to backport all the Yum fanciness?
Because DNF was sort of version 1, and then the Yum rewrite turned into sort of version 2, where a lot of these bugs got fixed quickly. And yeah, I would not be.
That is not sustaining.
What's that?
That is not sustaining, then.
No, that is not sustaining. No. Because yeah, the job is basically to make the Yum package provider look as close as possible, or sorry, the DNF one to look as close as possible to the Yum one, and not get fucking crazy with it.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that sticking the versions in the package name is terrible. I know that we have to do that sometimes, but it's terrible.
No, but it's that is much more predictable.
I know, but it's terrible.
Well, like in my use case, what I was doing is I was using the Docker cookbook, and I was setting the version of the Docker. Whenever I update that version, I want to make sure I restart Docker. But in that, the resource in the Docker cookbook is using the version attribute. It's not putting the version in the package.
Yeah. So the other workaround here is that you have to understand the version is the Evra, which is the Epic version release architecture. So if you throw 0:507-1 x86-64 in there, that will also work.
Well, I did put the architecture, but when I put the Epic in there, it was still happening.
Right. You need the architecture because it doesn't compare without the architecture.
I'll try.
In the Yum and the DNF stuff, when you see that version there, that really means Evra, and
which includes Arc.
And if you put the full Evra in there, you should get the behavior that you want.
Okay. I'll give that a shot and reply back.
I wish you the best of luck.
Well, I already implemented a workaround because I was having Docker restart every 30 minutes. It was
you don't want that.
So.
I mean, that's why I don't like it, because the version is always going to be the Evra, and that's not what people think. And so,
yeah, that is not the expected behavior from people.
I think whatever you throw in for the name, it's going to work exactly the same way as it'll work on the command line with like a DNF install.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can that we can pretty much guarantee backwards compatibility. Like the way it gets mashed up with a version, it's like, no, you're going to have to deeply understand strange edge conditions. And the epic one is one that always comes up because that changed, because it's now correct, where if something has an epoch, you need to specify the epoch. Otherwise, it doesn't compare correctly. And if it doesn't have an epoch, it is 0, which is what is according to the spec.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, in the case of Docker, it has an epoch of 3.
right. So you have to use 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'll try adding the architecture and see what happens. Thanks.
Cool. Do we have anything else we want to look at for a quick stop?
I'm just curious if there's any development on issue 8468, the one about making mixlib install responsible for Bootstrap.
So
Where is it? 84?
there's some issues with that, and I think the where we have to be really careful with this one is around air gap installs, and I'm not sure if we have a solution for that. That's my thought on that. It's,
okay, so would you recommend
that? We do not have development on this right now. That's a backlog item.
So would you recommend that in the meantime, the sync project proceeds with whatever solution we can find to Bootstrap Windows nodes?
Yes. Whatever is in the code right now in terms of Bootstrap is probably going to be the thing that's in the code for at least, I would say, the next 6 months.
Okay, good, thanks.
And I'm not a product person, but I'll still say that. All right. Well, cool. I'm going to click stop then. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
For chatting.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
PRs.